Hello, welcome to Exotic Gardening with me, Yorkshire Kris. On this week's episode, we're doing a walkthrough the garden in very early spring and looking at those projects that have started and hopefully will complete in 2025. So as we head into the back garden, we do get a lot of green. We've got the palm trees and bamboo in the distance there, but much closer down by the side of me, we've got the pots with the tulips. These are getting ready to flower. Got a few flowering in the front garden, but these are more regular flowering in April time ones, so they're not quite ready yet, as we're still in pretty early March. Well, let's have a look at how everything's doing, and then we'll get to the projects at the end of the garden. In terms of what's come through winter, everything's come through winter pretty well on the whole. So we've got this Nova, which was planted as a very small palm tree, and that's bulking up nicely now. No damage whatsoever on that one. And then down below we have something you very rarely see, just down here. This is Trachycarpus Gemini sectus, an extremely rare small palm tree, and for whatever reason seems doing pretty well in my garden here in this location. Above it we have the Butea Aries spather. No damage on this one, no spotting, nice green leaves. So that's got through another winter pretty well, and it's got beautiful arching leaves. Really like the form of this one. If I stand back you can see it. It's really nice. And then up above we've got the Pseudopanax, and if I just tip that up you can see it's grown really tall. Got the blossom from next door there as well, which is nice to see. And then yes, we've got some beautiful Trachycarpus palms there, but below that we've got a lot of rubble. When I say rubble, wood. We've got rotten wood, less rotten wood, and this is from the end of the garden where I've been digging up the paths. So you can see how this is decayed over the last 10 years. That sleep has really been rotted through. Other pieces of wood, not so bad. There's a big pile of it there, and I've got to get rid of this, so this will be all going to the tip. Now, blue bamboo. This one doesn't like really bad winters, but if we look up we can see the foliage is still nice and green. That's still nice and happy, and you've got this beautiful blue culms here. They've come through winter really well. So we talk about the Trachycarpus. Naturally, I do my video every year comparing all the different species of Trachycarpus. I'll do a link down in the description below, but actually this time of year you can see them really well, because if we just come down the garden and I do a sideways walk like this, we can see them all side by side, because all the summer bedding's gone, cleared everything else, and you can see how from the left hand side we've got the Fortunii, we've got Princeps, we've got Nanital, possible Manipura Nanital again. We've got the Princeps hybrid, which is a huge palm tree in front of us now, down to a Tachyle, and then a Wagnerianus over there, and the smaller ones are hidden away, but they're all there in a line. But you can see them all side by side growing pretty well, and no damage on them. There is damage on the Martianus, which is just by that white cloth over there, but that will come back, I'm sure. And we just turn around, we've got the tree ferns, and now well, winter's behind us, not really into warm weather yet, but we're definitely into early spring. And you can see, if we go into this tree fern, you can hopefully see underneath all the knuckles ready to emerge. Really nice set of them here. Hopefully you can see there's a bit of green underneath. Just keep rubbing that. Yes, it is green, as you can see down there. So they're the knuckles. I'll keep them covered up for a bit longer with the leaves. Pull that fleece back in. And it's important if you've got a newly planted tree fern in the last year or so. It's been pretty dry for the last week or two, and it's set to be dry again for the next few weeks, so it's probably worth giving any newly planted one a good watering. Again, tree ferns have kept some of the leaves, some of the fronds, but some are frazzled off. Up there, Trachycarpus, with lots of seeds and berries up there. There's a nice mature one now, nice female one. We'll spin round. There we are, view of the garden in end of winter, early spring. Obviously these beds have been cleared in terms of all the debris now. Put loads of manure, there's 2 tons of manure just gone over here, and will add lots of nutrients to the soil. On top of that, you've got loads of bamboo leaves that are just fallen down, those little white bits. So you've got medallias, cannas and gingers all ready to burst into growth as soon as the soil warms up in April and May time. You can see the action path here, curved path. This will change, like I said, next year. This year we're going to grow loads of veg in here, along with the exotics. And next year we'll be opening up this area, so there's a wider path going through the area. Here we have the Schefflera on the right, bulking up nicely here. Got the loquat that sort of fell over in the snow, so I've propped it up. I've cut the top off and I've propped it up here, so we'll see if that can stabilise. Got the daffodils coming out, which is nice to see. I'll get a good look at those. And then there, in amongst that, we have got the big Guna cryptico ready to burst into life. You can see that there. In fact, we've actually got here the first big leaves trying to open there. So then, as well as the daffodils down here, we've got some arum lilies here. Nice greenery at this time of year, a bit like a little colocasia really, but coming out in winter into spring. Got a couple more down there, and they will flower when they've established better, so hopefully later this year or maybe next year. But let's go over the bridge into the arid area. Obviously we've got the Jubea, as we always look at, in the centre. Come through winter totally unscathed. Absolutely huge plant. It's hard to tell on camera how big this is, but like I said, it's about, what, 5 meters across now. So 5 meters, I would say, from side to side, from the leaf tip to leaf tip, and it's probably about, what, 4 meters tall right to that top of that leaf. So it's a big old plant. The waterfall I've not got on, but that's down here, and we've got various plants growing up either side with the palm trees, the polycarpa there, got some hydrangeas. Here, down here, you've got a palm tree you rarely see, or a form of you rarely see. It's Chimerops humilis arborescens, so the trunk forming, single trunk forming Chimerops, and it is pretty much doing that. We've got the chocolate vine down here, which is going to flower. It's been growing along the balustrade of the walkway over the bridge. And then we've got the view here of more palm trees. So we've got the Princeps here, and that's got a decent trunk now. So if we look down there, you can see the trunk of that one. Got another one over there as well, it's in sunshine. yucca in the centre, and then some bamboos and Trachycarpus behind. I've not tidied up my garden at all yet. We'll get there soon enough, I'm sure. Got some tulips ready to flower here. That red-leaved plant is an Astelia Red Devil. It's come for all the winters for the last, well, 15 years now, and the two gardens have had it. It's a really reliable plant with coppery red leaves. We'll go around this way. So like I said, this area here, we get down right to ground level. We are going to take up this pathway here, and we're going to bring this gravel path round towards the bridge where I'm standing, and this will allow a little bit more planting space in this area. Well, let's follow it round. Here we've got the colocasias, we've got the pink chinas just dotted about in this area. You can see some runners as well. These will start to grow very soon, I'm sure. Got a yucca there, which we divided a couple of years ago. That's just establishing now in a new location. I'm sure that will do very well indeed. So giving it lots of space around it. We did have a salvia there, tender one that's not quite made it there, but some salvias over there have made it through the winter. So they'll be flowering all summer long, probably from June onwards. So if you go down this path, and then look up, we've got Chimerops humilis doing very well. Got a bit of spotting actually on the older leaves from the couple of wet winters we had. But that's getting taller than me now, so it's well over 2 meters tall. Yucca faxona there. Getting some decent size in that one. The ivy's coming over the fence here. As the dog start barking again. Got the bamboo. This is my Nagra that's not flowered yet, like a lot have. So we'll see if this flowers in 2025. Then we'll come round here. Before we go further down the garden, let's just turn around and look at the view we've got. We've got obviously the Jubea, and then we've got the Arid planting underneath, including this beautiful Desilarion with its twisted leaves. That's come through winter, no issue. We've got the Volcano, bit of spotting on that, but not too bad at all. We've got the tulips trying to come through, and they've still got the shelter on the agaves. And we'll have a better look in a minute, I think. Yes, we'll just go back around and have a look at the arid bed from that side. So we come round the paths here. Again, this path here will all be dug up so that we have a bit more planting space, and again the curved path with a copper edge where the cotton steel will come through and match up with the bridge over here. But we're not quite at that stage yet. So, better view here. This hedge will be clipped. As you can see, it is getting quite over the path now, so I'll clip that back and cut the tops off. This evergreen, beautiful evergreen hedge, the New Zealand privet, always looks really good. Good for windy locations as well. We've got cacti come through winter, so we've got the Opuntia in the middle distance there. But one thing that hasn't come through is down here, and we've got a little agave, and you can see it's completely rotten, that one. So that agave has not made it through, unfortunately. And that's the trouble with small agaves. Even the hardier types, when they're small, it can be tricky to get them through the winter. And that's what's happened with this one. We've got a better view up there, if we look up, of the Jubea trunk, bulking up nicely now, really, really big trunk getting taller and taller and wider. And then we can see the agaves through the centre there, under the cloche. And we'll have a better view if we go in. There's the yuccas. Then underneath we've got the Montana there, doing good. Got a bit of a squashed Americana. I think that'll be fine. The outer leaves have got a lot of spotting this year, but the centre looks good, albeit a bit squashed. So we'll take the shelter off in a few weeks' time. So at the end of March into early April, that all comes off. And above that, the beautiful Raya and Marta palm tree. Stunning silvery blue leaves. One of the best looking palm trees you can grow in the UK. It even grows in my garden. So up in northern England, you can still grow this beautiful palm tree. It's been in the ground now for 10 years. And it's not died, it's got bigger and better. It's not just surviving, it is, I would say, thriving, getting bigger and better every single year, getting bigger leaves, more leaves, and no damage on the leaves most winters. So, over there, more bamboos, and in the centre there, got a better view actually of it here, is a Trachycarpus aureophyllus with a very tall, slender trunk. We've got the bumblebees now looking for a home. Hear them buzzing around. And some little agaves and yuccas have made it. This little agave down here has made it, so that's good. And now we come to the very, very messy area, because as you've seen in my previous videos, we've got the paths, the gravel paths, and then they're going to continue down the garden. So we have got all this been dug up, all these decking paths. So all that was decking path down there, that's all been dug up. And then all this here has also been dug up. Still left the sleepers in at the moment, but I probably will remove them. I mean, he's doing a good job at the sleeper of keeping back the bamboo there, the parvifolia bamboo. And you can see it's running. If I look down here, you can see how it's running along the side there. I've got all this rubble to get rid of as well in here. Probably make use of some of that, but I want to get rid of some of it because there's a lot of it. And then you can see how much work there is to do down here. So, like I said in my previous video, to get the path to come round here, and then the path will go all the way down here, go through here, go under here. This tree fern will be moved. See, I've dug up all this. You rarely see this area. And the path will come through here, move these tree ferns, and then through into that area. But before we go there, while I'm here, let's look at a couple of plants that you very, very rarely see, because I'm never in this part of the garden. Got a cast iron plant, indoor house plant. Thought of a house plant for many, many years. But as you can see, it's hardy outside. Slugs can have a go at it, but it's hardy evergreen. You can cope with dry shade, as it is here underneath the laurel tree, as well as this little parlour palm. Very hardy here. That's been here for about 7, 8, 9 years now. So they can get eaten by slugs, but if they don't get eaten by slugs, they're totally fine in the shade, in the dry shade, because they're not watered particularly well, whereas the tree ferns in recent years have been watered very well, although I hardly watered them last year, and they've managed to survive. But they will be moved. You can still see we've got loads of green leaves on these. So these will be moved. We've got a decent root ball on them. And we'll put them further down the garden, as well as dotted about this area. So, like I said, the path will come through and sort of go off in that direction. But I can't walk that at the moment because the tree ferns are in the way. So we'll just go back down the path, down here. Again, all this decking path has been removed. And then if we look around here, you can see how I've taken away the sides here. There's a supporting wooden frame here. That's rotted away, and I've dug it away. And that's where the path's going to come through, where that tree fern is there. Taking loads of twigs and branches off the hedge at the back. And then this area will be built up. Got all that wood as well to get rid of there. So this is the area we're going to be completely transforming over the next few months, hopefully. So lots to do. Be highly recognisable, hopefully, when we're finished. When we've moved all these tree ferns, banked up this area. You see all the big the roots of the eucalyptus tree pushing up. I'm going to put soil over this area and build it up. I think I'll still keep a view out to the fields beyond as well, because it's quite nice to look out, especially when the cows are there. And then got the Tetrapanax. So huge Tetrapanax up there, still not died. The new growth is coming out the top there. And that's one thing I will say, my Tetrapanax never die back. I know if you saw Jungle George's garden video, he looks at his Tetrapanax and how a lot of them have been mushy at the top. Mine never do that. I must have a hardy variety. Got another one growing up there. And again, that's not died back at all. It's carrying growing from the top. So they are variable. I've just got an extremely hardy version that never ever dies back. So this path here will be removed, but I'm not going to remove it until I finish taking down materials down to this part of the garden. And then I'll dig it all up, shape the beds, and then this parvifolia bamboo, I'm probably going to dig this up and open up this area, but I've said that last couple of years, and I know I've done little bits, but it's such a tough plant to move. Really, really hard to dig up, really hard work. And you start doing a bit of it, and you just, your spade or whatever just bounces off the roots, and it's just a massive effort to dig it up. But I might find the energy, dig this one up, because it will open up this space, allow light to come through to these palm trees beyond and these bamboos beyond, but it'll open up the centre here, where now the Princeps hybrid palms are getting taller. Some are about 2 meters tall, some are not quite that tall. But the issue we've had is they're so close to the paths. They've been in the way, but now they're growing taller. If they get taller than head height, then it won't be too bad. Keep clipping off the lower leaves. And we're going to move the path a little bit as well, so you can see the gravel path there. The wooden path at the moment comes down this way, but if we continue the gravel path that have come in forward this way, it will mean that we don't go too close to the palm trees. So we've got to get that space in. And then we are back into the glorious sunshine, into the middle of the garden. And I think that is where we'll end this week's episode. So thank you for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, if you've got any questions, put them below and I'll try to answer as many as I can. And obviously if you're not subscribed, please do so. I'll be doing lots in the garden this year. Won't just be talking about plants, but I'll actually be developing the garden, changing quite a lot of the garden. So you can see that process as we go through spring and into summer. And I'm sure there'll be lots of changes to be had. And then I'll be planting up new plants as well. So thank you for watching this edition of Exotic Gardening UK. Join me next week. I'll be doing more in the garden.